Good morning. We're going to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads for a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, we beseech your divine guidance in this meeting. Keep us ever mindful of our obligation. Grant us, dear Lord, wisdom, tolerance, and courage, that we may well serve our county and fulfill our trust. Amen.
Amen. I will make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 22nd meeting.
And I will second that. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes. Okay, next up we have public comment. Is there any public comment regarding pending resolutions? Anything? This would be for pending resolutions, but there is a public comment at the end if it's not on the agenda for today. So.
Is it something we're voting on today?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, then come on up.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Jeremy Cray, 387 Medina Road.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're getting used to seeing you at these meetings.
Quite often now. So we have we're working on the project Hawks Ridge, which is on the northwest corner of Route 3 and 162. It's a 255-unit residential subdivision. As part of that subdivision, on that first plan, the first page on the left side, it shows the site plan. So I think you guys might or might not be aware of Medina County's thoroughfare plan, which originally had a roadway connecting the roundabout at Route 3 and 162 over to Grovewood Lane. Between our parcel and Grovewood Lane is a Park District parcel. That's kind of that outlot that I've highlighted there on the left. And where Grovewood comes down, we would have to make that connection, there's a large environmentally sensitive area. There was problems with connecting to the roundabout at Route 3, so several years ago, the thoroughfare plan or meeting or what board decided to not go forward with that. As part of not going forward with it, it placed a requirement that when this property adjacent got developed, that they would address the Grovewood Lane turnaround and find a solution for that. So shown on that existing conditions map is that area in blue shows an existing temporary turnaround that's currently right in the front yard of that home. So we were looking at various ways to how we could create a more permanent solution. So one of the first options we looked at, if you flip the page, was types of T turnarounds. So basically this a similar solution to what they have, just moving it off of that person's lot and moving it down farther. The parcel to the north of that is also County Park District. It's the head of one of their trailheads. So when we proposed that to the Park District, their comment was, if we do that, it's going to end up as a parking lot. Cars are going to park there, and there'll be a car parked there the minute you need it for an emergency turnaround. So we went away from that. We looked at if we built a full-size cul-de-sac, next page, in that area, what would that look like? We looked at moving it farther to the east, and what happens is there's about a 15-foot drop that goes down to the headwaters of the McCabe Creek. So that wasn't ideal. We looked at doing it all the way back on the parcel. You can see we would take a little over half of the driveway of that existing resident. The right-of-way would go through their garage. So it wasn't exactly an ideal situation. So then we looked at, okay, what if we did a substandard cul-de-sac? How big of a cul-de-sac could we get, and how would the township's fire and safety equipment be able to maneuver on it? So the township's largest fire engine is just under 35 feet. So we looked at a 35-foot radius cul-de-sac and put it in their engineers' turn data software to make sure that they could make a full movement turn in that. And what we did is we took this exhibit, these slides, and went to the township, met with the township trustees, met with the fire chief. They did all vote that they were in agreement with a substandard cul-de-sac, and that all felt that it would be better than their current situation. Which is ultimately the reason I'm here today, is to ask for a variance request from the engineered standards of a standard 50-foot radius cul-de-sac to a 35 in that situation. I just overlaid what that cul-de-sac would look like on the aerials. You know, the one on the left shows if it was a full-size cul-de-sac. The one on the right shows what's being proposed. And then the final page is just the actual engineering. So if we build this cul-de-sac this way, we're able to build it entirely within the right-of-way, with the exception of about 311 square feet of Park District land that we would have to acquire to the north. So I went to the County Park District's board meeting 2 weeks ago and talked to them about would they be willing to enter into an agreement to dedicate that 311 feet to the county. They said yes in agreement. In return, I'm extending their park on Waterbury Lane over to the future commercial, so that basically this trail that starts here at Grovewood goes down and around, wraps around the Redwood, connect there, and then there'll be a trail that'll connect to when the future commercial gets developed on Route 3.
Great.
So I think it creates a win-win. So we've had meetings with Mr. Conrad and his office regarding this. I think we've tried to check all the boxes and are here to ask for that variance. So.
As a layperson in this field, this was an excellent presentation. Like, clearly understood each page. I'm
Yeah.
so impressed. Thank you.
You must not be an engineer. That's a joke.
But Jeremy also does a good job with narratives for me as a layperson in his world. That yes, yeah.
Any questions?
No, this
Thank
was
you very
great.
much.
Thank you.
If there's any other public comment, if not, we're moving on to resolutions, which brings, well, do you want to comment on that?
Did you want me to now?
Sure, that'd be great, yeah. And then we can move right in if there's no other public comment, which appears there isn't, so.
So Jeremy and his team at Pulte, they kind of jumped through the hoops they needed to, and I do have a confirmation from the township that they voted on and they were accepting of the 35, so that was something that we do have. I think it's a good compromise. There was the thoroughfare plan that we reconvened the task force to see if there was the necessity to extend Grovewood, and as part of there was two options: either extend it or deal with the providing a permanent turnaround. So this one's got a little bit of some conformance issues. So I think this is a good compromise to achieve what needs to be done within the space that is kind of allowed. So,
Yeah. And the creek that's already there that he mentioned, the extension option would have involved some.
there would be, yeah, it's like another creek that, we would have a small bridge there,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So I think this is a realistic, a good compromise to service what Lafayette Township needs.
Is there, and I don't know how curbs are typically built on a cul-de-sac, but will there be some grace there since it is a little bit tight? Will it be more like a sloped curb, or will it be a big, because if I'm thinking of if a fire truck or some other safety vehicle needs to get in there and maybe they don't make a perfect turn, will they be fighting with a tall curb?
The curb would probably be the same. I think there's an opportunity for them to do maybe a 2-point turnaround.
Okay.
It shouldn't be a big deal.
Yep, okay, great.
And if a semi accidentally went down there, they'd still make it.
They'll have a little bit of maneuvering, but should they be able to get through? Probably. It just won't be just a one sweep turn through there.
And then does the right-of-way area that is in that residence now, does that go away, or does that?
The turnaround, you mean?
The turnaround, I assume that's in a right-of-way or something? that we
There's
have?
an easement, and,
okay.
and typically the language on the existing plat for Bennington Point subdivision, I believe, it says that that easement will be extinguished upon completion of the street, so
Great.
that would go away. And I think our dialogue with Pulte was that they can talk to the homeowner if they like having something right up to their front window. If you see the house, it's just one of those. It's there's at the end of the existing temporary turnaround, there's guardrail, and then it's right in front of their bay window.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but they use it. They have a basketball hoop there, so if they wanted to keep a portion of that, it'd be a little bit less work for Pulte to remove. But the idea is to remove that.
Yep. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
You're starting our resolutions too. Yep. Yep. Thanks for the information. Thank you for.
So based on that conversation, I do have a three resolutions for your consideration. The first being granting a variance to the engineering code for subdivision development for the minimum radius and configuration of the cul-de-sac at Grovewood Lane. The second resolution would be amending an agreement with Cardinal Asphalt to repave the Medina County Engineers parking lot. And the third would be determining necessities to close county roads for multiple road culvert replacements.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 resolutions.
I will second. Any discussion? When was the last time the engineering center parking lot was paved?
This is down actually at the highway garage.
Oh, okay.
And that is the original pavement from '97.
Okay. Yeah.
We've done some work on it, but it's time to do the full thing.
Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sandy, thanks for being here. Jeremy Cinco, sanitary engineer.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
2 resolutions for consideration today. The first is authorizing the sanitary engineer to release the remaining escrow amount to Fetchco Excavating for the Fenn and Marks Road water main replacement project. And the second is authorizing the sanitary engineer to enter into an agreement with Envelope Consulting Services for professional design services to perform an evaluation of the administration building at the Hinckley Wastewater Treatment Plant.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2 resolutions.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Next up, Holly Mirren, HR. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning. On our personnel changes resolution today, we have 2 new hires, 1 in maintenance, 1 in human resources, 7 rate increases, 3 at job and family services, 1 in building, and 3 at senior and adult services, and 1 position change at job and family services.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Brett Thomas, finance.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Brett.
I have all of 4 resolutions for you today, so this will be quick. The first one is an oddball. We have an amendment to the appropriations for that's a little bit out of sequence. Normally, we do this once per month. This particular resolution is actually a change due to a hiccup that we have found inside the Munis accounting system for prior year POs, as purchase orders got invalidated at the end of having stood outstanding for too long. When we remove those, they actually end up changing our prior year's fund balances. This is an anomaly inside of Munis, and we're working on a resolution. For the time being, in order to restore the balances back to where they should be, we have the following appropriation resolution. Our second resolution is an amendment to the fiscal year 25 felony delinquent care grant for juvenile court. This is actually a small increase in the grant that had been approved prior, but we had missed that on our resolution when we did our last update for it. Our third resolution is expenses for the county officials. We have 2 traveling two events for the sheriff this time. We have the Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy in Columbus, and then we have the School Resource Officer and DARE conference in Sandusky. And then our fourth resolution is our weekly bills in the amount of $1,961,113.56.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4 resolutions.
Second. Roll call. Any discussion? Sorry. Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Brett. Next up, Matt Springer, County Administrator. Morning, Matt.
Good morning. I have 4 resolutions. The first one is approving a service and support agreement with Root Integrated Systems. This is for the Medina County Courthouse and would approve the AV equipment within 19 hearing rooms. The second resolution is approving Phase 1 design services with Envelope Consulting. This was a 2025 capital improvement project to improve some of the security features at the Highway Engineering Center. The third resolution is approving another Phase 1 design service, also a 2025 capital improvement for restroom renovations at the Engineering Center in the amount of $3,800. And then fourth and final is approving an amended agreement for design services at the county home, also with Envelope Consulting. This is for the interior work that would take place within the cafeteria itself. The total amount is $12,725.
I will make a motion to approve the 4 resolutions.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Next up, we have department updates. We have our county recorder here with us for our 5th Tuesday meeting is usually light, so we're glad that Linda Hoffman, our county recorder, could be here to join us.
And in keeping with everybody else's short agenda, my report will be short as well. I provided Rhonda in advance with a summary of, and I don't know if it's in your packets.
Thanks.
A first quarter summary of what's been happening in the county recorder's office. Although nationwide there might be a lot of ups and downs in what's happening in the economy, things at the recorder's office are holding pretty steady. We continue to have about 65% of the documents that are recorded in our office are coming in through electronic filing. So the foot traffic for people actually coming in and presenting at the counter historically has been around 30 to 35%, and that seems to still be holding. Just because we have a lot of local attorneys and mom and pop folks coming in doing the filing, I don't know that that number's going to get to be higher, although in some counties it certainly is. The e-filings this year through the end of March we're at 3,476 documents compared to the same time in fiscal year 24. We're ahead by about 500 documents. Obviously, that is also reflected then in the amount of revenue collected. We're ahead of where we were this time last year. One of the efforts that I have been making since being in the Office of Recorder is encouraging people to enroll in the property fraud program. And when I came into office in January 2021, we had just over 700 folks signed up for that program. Through the direct mail solicitation we've been doing with folks as documents are recorded, we're now up to 5,508 property owners in the county who have taken advantage of that program. And that really is reflective of the number of owners. Certainly some owners own more than one parcel, so there are a lot more parcels that are actually covered with that fraud alert. Unfortunately, Commissioner Hambley's not here. 2 weeks ago, he asked in the meeting about Mr. Thomas looking into the contributions that come from the Recorder's Office to the Ohio Housing Fund, because there's a change pending in the legislature regarding that fund. And I know Mr. Thomas came down to our office seeking some of the data on that. But the change is now going to mean that the money that goes into the Ohio Housing Trust that previously was being sent into Columbus, and then people made applications to have those funds come back into their county to provide housing services, that money moving forward is going to be staying within the county. And just as an example, in 2022, we sent over $847,000 in. In 2023, it was close to $650,000. Last year, it was close to $680,000. And I don't know when Brett finishes his analysis if he's going to be able to tell us what our return on that investment was, but I suspect we received far less in return than the money that left the county.
It's historically far less. This is
Yes.
a windfall for Medina County
Right.
should this bill go through.
And
It's a windfall.
So we, what I will want to do is talk with Brett and talk with the auditor's office as well. When the bill is finalized, there's a 90-day grace period, if you will, before it becomes effective. If we are able to withhold our fourth quarter payment until after the effective date, then maybe a fourth of this money would still be available locally in this calendar year.
Great.
So,
Another great thing about this potential revenue stream is, you know, for the last several years, interest rates have not been great. Should we have a downturn in the interest rates and you get, 5 years worth of refinances, that's going to be a windfall of revenue too for this program.
Right.
So it's great.
And it comes at a good time when countywide, we've been doing more to address the housing situation. And this will free up dollars that'll be available to help the residents. So we anticipate that'll go through in Columbus without any difficulty. But just as a heads up, that's kind of what those numbers look like.
It's wonderful.
And again, a good thing to be able to report.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you.
And is the property fraud alert registration, is that fairly consistent year over year, or are you seeing that taper off now that more people are aware of it?
It continues to grow, and part of that is dictated by how frequently ownership turns over
Sure.
with the properties. So in a time when there are a lot of new transfers versus refis, then those numbers are going to increase.
Yep.
And the efforts being made by my office are currently to send the information out to individual homeowners, not so much for LLCs or corporations or other holding companies where the fraud alert is perhaps less of an interest to them, but to protect the average homeowner for what is usually one of their two main assets, that and their pension funds.
That
Right.
is an incredible increase in that program
So-
that you have
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
you have put forth. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Always
Thanks
nice to
for being
see you.
here. Yep. And next up, we have one of two commissioner resolutions. So the first is appointing Melinda Ruchinsky and Matt Sturgeon to the Medina County Mental Health and Recovery Board.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that. Any discussion? Appreciate their willingness to serve. Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes. And next, second commissioner's resolution is approving the petition for boundary line adjustment for Brunswick Hills Township.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second. Discussion? Roll call?
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes. Next, is there any general public comment? I don't know who it would come from at this point.
None of you are really public.
Okay, with that discussion session, Matt, do you have anything? Linda, you covered everything, I imagine? Nothing from the auditor's office? Colleen, what do you have?
Rhonda reminded me, and I'm so glad that she did that, because we don't have a lot of applications in, and the McDack deadline for the grant application is this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping some of the entities that apply every year hear this, that
Mm-hmm.
the deadline is this Friday.
Yep, that's always good to keep on the radar. I also have an announcement that we will be having a special commissioners meeting next Tuesday. It's Tuesday, May 6th at 11:30 here in the hearing room. So it will happen after our regular meeting. It's a meeting to discuss the proposed TIF that came from Wadsworth City. This came up in discussion session last week, and because there are a number of folks that probably want to have a say in that, we thought it made sense to do that as its own meeting rather than trying to do it in a discussion session in our regular meeting. I think that was Rhonda's idea. I think that was a good idea. So thank you, Rhonda, for bringing that to our attention. And here is the notice that it will be held as a special meeting here in this room next Tuesday at 11:30. Anything else?
Nothing.
And I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I will second. Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Rhonda, did you want one of these?
Oh, yeah, I was going to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
It was nice to see you.